Hey guys, thanks so much for joining me for another episode of the Power to Pivot podcast. I am so excited for today's guest. I think you're gonna love it too. I'm sitting down and chatting with Hillary Gooden. She is a speaker, a coach, and one of the things I'm super excited to talk about today is the fact that she is a certified lymphology expert. And I'll be honest, as I said to her, I've never heard of this before, but I'm totally curious. She is someone who has certainly made pivots throughout her life, within her business and career, but also her health. And I think this is a subject that we don't talk about often. I know here on the show, this is a little bit new. So guys, please welcome Hillary Gooden. Hillary, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Elizabeth, for having me in. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, of course. I love your background. As I said, you're a certified lymphology expert
Yes,
and
I
coach.
am.
So can you tell us a little bit about what that means?
Okay. Well, I'm a vibrant. The thing is, I'm a lymphologist, and that is dealing with the lymphatic system, helping people to when you can activate your lymphatic system, it's going to cause you to just have better health overall because it works sort of like the garbage disposal, if you will, of the body. As far as cleansing your cells and keeping it homeostasis, if you ever heard of homeostasis, just all the systems of the body working together the way God intended. And when the lymphatic system is not working properly, if it's not active as it should be, you're going to deal with inflammation, pain. And depending on where it settles in the body, where it's stagnant, where it begins to build up uh, cellular waste, because it's not moving, it's not circulating so that it can be removed, you're going to have different stuff like they'll call it glaucoma if it's happening in the eyes. They'll call it arthritis if it's happening in your joints. They'll call it fibromyalgia, lupus. All these different type of chronic conditions are a result at the base dealing with inflammation.
Oh my goodness. So I know I've heard of a lot of those conditions, fibromyalgia, lupus. There's a link to autoimmune disorders with it. It
Yes,
seems like a lot of those are
absolutely.
classified as autoimmune, right?
Absolutely. And activating your lymphatic system, that's a sign that your lymphatic system is not working properly. And so the thing about this is that the number one way to activate your lymphatic system is bouncing on a mini trampoline.
Really?
Yes. I thought, God, you really got a sense of humor here. And so the just to kind of help a little bit more, the blood circulates through the body because the heart is pumping and circulating the blood to carry oxygen and nutrients throughout the body. The lymphatic system has lymph fluid that needs to be circulated. The problem is the lymphatic system does not have a pump. You are the pump. Movement is key.
Okay.
So, yes.
So
So,
it makes sense then that the trampoline would be an effective treat method, I don't want to say treatment, but a method to get yourself moving, get your system moving. And it's a lot more fun. So
it's fun. And another thing, let me just give you a little bit more. The lymphic fluid only runs in one direction. We know that the blood, it goes down, it comes back to the heart. You know, the lymph fluid moves in one direction. That's upward. And so as you bounce it along the way of the vessels, they have what are called check valves. And as you bounce, or even as you're moving, walking, jogging, uh, doing anything but just sitting and just laying down, it's going to help to open those check valves. And as those check valves open, the lymph fluid rushes up through the body, circulating and cleansing out anything that's gotten trapped and causing cellular waste to build up, and so that it can be either absorbed by the body or removed from the body. So you have to move.
gotta move, gotta move. It's good for a lot of
Gotta
different
move.
things, but this is certainly a new take on a reason why we need to exercise and move our body. How did
Yeah.
you come to this point where you were aware of the lymphatic system and became a lymphologist? Because your background is
I'm like
actually
you.
in mental health, right?
Well, my background, I worked as a CFO of a behavioral health center for
Okay.
like 33 years. I was not the CFO, I was a line staff. I promoted to manager, then I promoted to CFO of the fiscal department. And so I'm an accountant and for years. But I had an interest in finding out ways to help my body because of a chronic cough. And I hate taking pills. I hate taking stuff, and so I wanted to find out what can I do that's natural? What can I do that's anything but pharmaceutical? That's me. And I know I'm not the only one. There are more people today that are trying to do what I say is easy, natural, and drug free. Okay. And
I'm with
so
you. Yeah,
a lot,
I'm a person who I will take the medication if I need to, but for me, I know the list of side effects. I look at the checks and balances of it, and I really take a long time to consider which option's better. And I think
yeah.
it's about educating yourself. So I love that please continue. This is a great viewpoint that I think is important.
So along my journey, I've just have come across so many different things that you can do. My friend, a co-worker, she bought a NutriBullet. I don't NutriBullet don't pay me, but she bought a NutriBullet, and we got all excited about all of the different concoctions she was putting together, and we were finding out if you do this, this is good for that. If you do this, this is good for that. So I was like, oh wow, wow. And so I went and bought one, and I got excited. Now we were exchanging information, and I was on YouTube just trying to find out all about different foods that are good because I used to be a very picky eater as a child. It wasn't until I hit my 20s that I started experimenting with the foods that I always said I didn't like, but never even tried. You know, and so I found putting things in that in a smoothie, I was more. It was easier for me to take in a whole lot of different things that I had never tried before, right? And so that started the journey, and I ran across a guy who I don't know if you're familiar. He's called himself the Regenerator
Mhm.
on YouTube, and he was talking to a man who had been given up to die from his doctors. His doctor sent him home, said, "There's nothing we can do. You need to go home and get your affairs in order." So he did. He left there feeling like you can only imagine how he felt, and so he ran across this other man who told him, "Listen, I can help you, but you have to agree that you're going to obey what I say." Tell you to do. And he said, I at this point, I have nothing else to turn to. And so this man led him on the journey of getting well. But the first thing he told him is that you have to forgive. I was like, really?
Wow. Forgive what? Forgive himself, forgive other people.
forgive forgive other people, forgive. And I imagine they had talked, and he told him about his life and stuff like that. And he told him, you have to forgive. And so I thought that was interesting, especially I'm also a pastor. So at what I know, about the word and the word and all of that, I thought that was really interesting, that can help your healing, getting better with your health. And so I was like, okay. So then he kept talking until we got to the trampoline. And he was talking about how bouncing on the trampoline, on the mini trampoline, had really helped turn his health around because he was dealing with his lymphatic system. And I found myself on another journey. Now I got to find out about this trampoline, about this lymphatic system stuff. And I ran into the person who taught that man, and that's Dr. Samuel C. West. And he is the founder of the International Lymphology Academy here in the United States. And he had been allowed to join the international group of lymphologists because it's most of the doctors and scientists and the different people that are part of that organization, they're mostly all outside of the United States.
Hmm. Isn't that interesting? I
Yeah,
feel like within our country, there's definitely a need for a pivot, like a change really in how we view healing and treatment. I think the shift has started, but I think it might take some more time and more awareness,
yeah.
perhaps, that
So
this can happen.
yeah, so they're just now. I'm, see studies and researches. I'm always learning and learning more, and reading and all of that. And I see where the doctors are just now beginning to recognize that the lymphatic system is definitely connected and vital to your immunity. You know, and there's different things that they're reporting on and stuff that I already knew by going through this academy. And so that's where I learned everything about the bouncing and activating your lymphatic system and how important. I was watching a program, one like a 2020 program one night, and this man, he had he was healthy, he worked out, he ate right, and all of that. But he started getting sick, and he didn't understand what was going on. He was like a big time producer in Hollywood, and he was on his way to a convention. He got to the convention. He said he just felt so, it just felt really bad. He told him, "I need to go to a hospital here." He did. He was in a different town. They sent him in a cab to the hospital. They admitted him. His organs were shutting down, and he was like, "What?" They say, "Who is your next of kin?" He's like, "I'm from out of town." I said, "You need to get somebody here because, like, we don't know. Everything is happening kind of fast, and we don't know in the next 12 hours what to do." And I went busy myself. I was going, his lymphatic system, because if it shuts down, you got 12 hours, and 12 hours. That's how vital.
Wow.
But they brought in a specialist who knew, and he hit on his lymphatic system, and they started dealing with him as far as that was concerned, and turned his health around.
Oh my goodness.
I was just like, this thing is real. I remember them talking about that when I was learning, through the academy, and it's wow.
That's
So
so
yeah, bounce,
powerful.
it really is.
So bouncing on a trampoline. Do you bounce? Do you have a trampoline like in your room? Because you don't need one of the big ones, right? You can use like a small
It's
mini one.
the mini trampoline. Yeah, I have one that's in my living room, and it's right there by the TV. On Tuesday nights, I have a my Facebook show, which is the Vibrant Good Health Show, and I'm usually on my trampoline, when I broadcast. Yeah, so it's just getting the word out. So many people think it's too simple, and they, say, "Well, I'm just going to go back to obeying what my doctor said," because I said, I'm not telling anybody to not obey your doctor or to stop taking your medication, but this is not going to hurt you. It's only going to help you. And the thing is we're talking about doing what's known as, we call it lymphosizing, because the point is not for like exercising cardio, but for activating your lymphatic system. So it's a gentle bounce. And your feet don't even have to leave the mat in order to get um, to activate your lymphatic system. And so 2 to 3 to 5 minutes, at a time. Sometimes not even that much, depending on how, if you're, especially if you're dealing with some kind of condition and you're really got a lot of inflammation going on. Just a few seconds at a time can make a difference.
How does one know that they're in a state where it's effective? Like, is it really just as simple as getting your heart rate up? Are you sweating? How do you know when you're making that impact?
It's going to help you to, first of all, it's going to help you to have more energy. If you're dealing with pain, it's going to help greatly reduce or eliminate the pain.
Mhm.
It's going to help you to sleep better. It's going to help you if you're dealing with brain fog. You have that clearness, that clarity of mind. It's going to help you to feel young again, that vitality, you
Mhm.
know. And it's just amazing. I had one lady. She got on. She bought her trampoline. She was so excited, and she said she texted me back. She messaged me on Facebook. She said, I got my trampoline, and I had been taking walks. Had told myself I was going to walk every day for a certain length of space. She said, and it got so to I just couldn't. I just didn't do it. She said, but I got on my mini trampoline and I bounced 3 to 5 minutes in the morning, and then I'll get back on in the afternoon, do a little bit, and at night I'll do a little bit. She said I had to go to a meeting and I had to walk to the third floor. She said, and when I got to the top of the third floor, I thought, you mean to tell me I'm not out of breath and I feel okay? She said, does it work this fast? I said, absolutely. She was just amazed, and it's exciting to me as well, And so one lady, she said, Hillary, I've been bouncing just a little bit. She said, I noticed my waistline look like it's going in a little bit, but it's only been like less than a month. I said, I'm telling you, depends on what your body needs. You'll be able to tell something if you listen to your body.
Mm, that's an important piece, that intuitive guidance is always there. We
Yes,
just have to be open to listening. And honestly, I think back to what you said about forgiveness with that other gentleman, and how important, we hold on to that stuff, and
yes,
it's like blocking that guidance coming through. So we can't
right.
hear it, and then we're not listening to our bodies, and we can't it I found myself in places where, you know, I'm following the guidance of what my body needs to eat. I often don't
Yes,
listen when it's telling me I need to move. So definitely, I think this is important to share with people, because it's not that we have to be necessarily in the gym. You're not saying get in the gym 7 days a
no,
week for hours and hours and hours.
no.
You know, it's simple, it's gentle, and it's I think
Effective.
it's effective. But and I also think that it's the intention behind it. You're not saying lose 100 pounds. You're saying let's get well. Like, the focus really is on
Yes,
wellness, not
yes.
anything other than that. I mean, certainly it sounds like
It's
it
a
can have an
it's a side
impact.
effect.
Right. I mean, that's going to come
It's
with
a
it,
great side effect.
but that's not the intention behind it. You want to
No,
feel better,
not for me.
and it's an overall lifestyle. Like, it's just being well and bringing, you mentioned homeostasis, bringing your body back to that balanced state that it needs to be able to function
Yes,
the way it needs to.
right. That is my focus because what I say is you got the power to
Mhm.
help your body help you live a more vibrant life.
Yeah.
You have a responsibility to your body to help it because the body, God is so fabulous, so magnificent in that our body knows how to keep us well. But when the conditions are not right, it gives the body a hard time just trying to keep you alive,
Think about that.
not
That
able
that
to
hits
do
me.
fully what it can do. Yeah.
It's
So
amazing.
when the conditions are right, the body knows what to do. When you give it enough water, and when you give it energized water, I drink water that's infused with hydrogen gas, and it's just so amazing because it is full of antioxidants and helps to your body. All the things that bouncing does, this water does. So if you're going to drink a high quality water, your body knows what to do with it, or you drink water, period, your body knows what to do because we're made up mostly of water. When you get enough sleep, your body knows what to do because that's when the body repairs and regenerate new cells and all of that good stuff. It's a lot going on when we sleep. When we breathe properly, most people, that's the number two way that I use in activating the lymphatic system is proper breathing. Most people don't even know, don't breathe properly. And we're all taught, pretty much what we do is shallow, what was known as shallow breathing and not breathing down to your diaphragm where your lungs can get the best oxygen
How do you
in
know
you.
the difference?
Okay, so this is a little test that we can do. Put one hand on your chest and one hand on your abdomen. We're going to take 3 breaths. And not, you don't have to be deep and hard and all that. Just regular 3 breaths in and out. And then I'm going to ask you a question. So breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. One more. Breathe in, breathe out. Now, which hand moved up and down or in and out? Was it the hand on your chest or the hand on your abdomen?
Hang on, I gotta think about that for a minute.
Breathe in. Do it one more time. Breathe in,
My
breathe out.
abdomen.
Okay. Now that is a breathing. That's a proper breath. That's a
Okay.
deep. That's deep breath. When you just go real hard, that don't mean anything because most people are raising their chest, their shoulders and chest, and that breath is shallow. It's all locked in the chest, and it's only reaching like the top of the lungs. The bottom third of the lungs is where the rich blood is that needs to be circulated back out through the body to take oxygen through the body by via the blood. And so when you take that diaphragm breath that goes deeper, and you'll know it if your abdomen is moving and not just your chest.
That's
That's one way
amazing.
to know.
And so, how long should people breathe? Like, is it just what I like to do? I mean, and I've been practicing with meditation for a couple of years now. So this is not something that necessarily is innate, certainly
Uh huh.
wasn't in me. And it's a
Okay.
practice, right? So it takes time to
Right.
develop good habits. But, for me, if I'm noticing tension in my body, I can stop and do like a body scan and start
Mhm.
breathing.
Mhm.
How long do you recommend with your clients, if they're starting out, what can we start with?
Just like I noticed that you took a couple of breaths before we got started. It just takes a few of you don't have to spend a long time doing this in order to for it to be effective, for it to help you.
Mm-hmm.
Although there are some um, exercises that go through that's like a um, 20-minute regimen. But just to stop in your day, during your day, your busy day, or not even just a busy day, just stop and take it those breaths in and out, and just allow your body to be, you know, it's helpful. And the other thing is breathing. Most people, we're told, and I used to tell people the same thing: breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Well, you know what? That's not what God intended. I'm like, oh my God, okay, the eyes are meant for seeing, the ears are meant for hearing, the mouth is meant for a whole lot of things, singing, dancing, eating, drinking, but the nose is meant for breathing. That's what's meant for breathing. So we should breathe in through our nose and out through our nose. That right there is going to help a lot of people with their health
I love
because
that.
what's intended when we breathe in and out through our nose, the air is warmed, filtered, and then this is the key: the body knows how much air is needed in the lungs at any given time. A lot of times with the breathing in and out through your mouth, you tend to overbreathe. That's the
Oh,
problem.
okay.
When people have asthma, sleep apnea, it can be controlled, it can be reduced, greatly reduced, just from learning to breathe in and out through your nose, because the way you breathe during the day is the way you breathe while you sleep. So if you're a mouth
Oh,
breather in the day, you're going to be a mouth breather at night. Thus, you have sleep apnea all over the place. I've heard more about sleep apnea in the last few years than I ever have.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
And one way to help that is closing your mouth, breathe in and out through your nose. Simple.
Interesting. That it
And
is
it's
so
easy,
simple.
natural, and drug free.
I like it. I think we can do that. So tell us
Yeah,
about,
right?
you had mentioned you had a cough that you had developed. And what I'm curious about is before you got to becoming a lymphologist and you were an accountant working in that mental health facility. So tell us about your mindset at that point. What kind of lifestyle was it then for you versus now? Because clearly you see the difference. You're training people on it now. You're a coach, you're educating people now. Help us understand where you were at that point.
Okay. I was a worrier. I worried a lot. I had a lot on my show. I had a lot to worry about. And as the CFO, as a just coming up in the leadership ranks, the responsibilities became more and more. Everybody's looking at you. I heard my name. I would be like cheers, say everybody knows your name. I would be like uncheers because after work didn't want to encounter anybody, excuse me, that knew my name. Please just don't call my name. And I found that people say, "Oh, you have a cough. You have a cold." No, I don't have a cold, but I got this cough. And when I would go to the doctor, she like they would always want to put me on something. You need to take this. The last one said you need to take this inhaler, and you'll be taking this for the rest of your life. I don't think so. No, that's not going to work for me. And I asked the doctor, is there something that you can tell me I can do or that I can go by that's natural? The look that she gave me, I'll never forget it. The look that she gave me. And I didn't understand it then, but I understand it now that maybe she thought I was some kind of plant or something, because that's not their job to give you ideas about natural stuff. Their job is to give you what medicine or whatever prescribed to you. And so I decided at that point, listen, I got to find a way because I found that they said, okay, if I eat dairy, that's going to exacerbate this cough. So I know if I eat less dairy, eat less, cheese and stuff like that, it, it's going to help me. But what I began to notice is that when I got in anxious moments, it would trigger that cough like 40 going north. I mean, just out from that 0 to 10, just like that. And my heart would be racing. And it's just like, how do I breathe to get myself back to a calm state was always the challenge. And I knew that it would happen when I got so trying to stay calm is one thing, but whenever those somebody would challenge me or because I don't like to argue, I just don't like arguing. And when people would get in my face arguing about something, and I'll be trying to breathe because I know if I don't, it's going to happen. And a lot of times it would happen before I even knew anything. I had to get a handle on that. That was again the journey started.
So
Yeah.
a
So
lot of
I
change for
know
you.
I know because of stress and anxiety. Yeah. I'm sorry. I know because of stress and anxiety. That's what I tell people, dealing with especially busy women leaders, because I can relate to that. Dealing with stress and anxiety can lead to all type of chronic conditions, whether it's coughing or any of those others that we talked about earlier.
So you mentioned, being a female, woman leader in the world. Um, what do you say to that woman today in 2021 is, we're out there trying to make a difference, can you give like top two tips or something to offer them as a, to help them see that they can change their life, they can take control, they're not stuck where they are.
Yeah. I think just that alone is helpful. You've got the power to
Mhm.
help your body help you. I was when I wrote my book, and that's the name of it. You got the power. 7 ways to transform your health and peace. That's what I talk about. That's what I'm. My mission is to get to as many people as I can before it's my time to leave here, this earth. You know, and I had a coach look at my book. He was a. This was after the fact, and he said, you may have to change the title of your book because nobody believes they have power. was like, well, that's why I'm telling them you got the power.
That's right. That's right.
you know? And so that's one of the first things, and that's the thing that I talk about the most. You got the power. Whether you're gonna breathe your way through it. And so this is the thing. Mindset stuff is 2/3 of this pie. The other third is the breathing, the bouncing, and all of that, or anything else you want to do in your life. If you can get the words you speak, the thoughts you think, those thoughts you allow your mind to entertain, what you believe, how you are you able to love and forgive? What do you do with stress? We got to deal with that stuff first. And then I want to talk to you about your lymphatic system and how that's going to help you. But if you got that lingering stuff, that stuff that's down and been buried down over the years, bouncing on the mini trampoline, when your cells are getting cleansed and being releasing toxins, it releases stuff that happened to you as well. Over the years, you say, man, why did I think about that? Where did that from? I haven't thought about that for years. I found myself crying about something that happened a long time ago. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's really bothering you?
That is I love that you asked that question that way, because it's not just about feeling the stress, it's what's really bothering you. And often in life, it's not what we think it is. It's like it goes deeper than that. And we forget, or we don't allow ourselves to realize that. But really, when you start digging down under the surface, there's more there to kind of bubble up. And
Yeah.
when you when you attack that, when you go after that, when you investigate and you get curious about it, it's really
Hmm.
interesting what comes up. And then with that, what happens after for you, your
Yes.
body, mind,
Yes.
spirit, all of it.
Yes. So that's the Vibrant Life coach. So my thing is I promote Vibrant Life,
Mm-hmm.
and I promote it by, uh, you know, first of all, activating your lymphatic system. That's my main thing, because there's the connection that most people don't know. And even doctors are just beginning to find out.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And like you said, most people never heard that it's a thing.
I had no idea, but I'm so excited that I know about it now.
Yeah.
So how can people get in touch with you? You're an author, so tell us about your book. Do you have the power? Where
Yeah.
can we find it?
Yeah, you can get it on my website at hillarygooden.com.
Okay.
And of course it is on Amazon. You can get it there. If you get it on my website, you can get it free shipping, and you can get a signed copy from me.
Nice. Nice. Okay, so we have your book and you're a coach. So tell us about that. Where can we find you? Also on your website?
Yeah, I'm working that out. But you can also get me at bit.ly/speak with Hillary. And that's a capital S for speak and a capital H for my name. So that's bit.ly/speak with Hillary. And we can have a clarity call.
I like it. I like it.
Free
I like it.
20
Well,
minute a free 20-minute clarity call.
okay. I'll make sure that that gets in our show notes so that people have all the links and can connect with you. I think you're doing amazing work for the world, and I appreciate that you took the time to come on and chat with us and educate me and everybody else about the lymphatic system and just these. I think it's important to remember, like, it's the little things that can really add up over time to the big results we want to see, right? Like,
Exactly.
it doesn't necessarily have to be um overly complicated, drawn out, like drudgery. When that's the word that pops up when I think about, I mean, I like the gym, but still, I'd rather jump on the trampoline for a couple of minutes and feel like a kid again than, you
Exactly.
know. So I think it's important to remember, like, we can keep it simple again. It doesn't have to be
Yes.
complicated.
Yes. That's what I love about it as well.
So do you have any last minute, like, send off tips, something you want to share as like that lasting comment with listeners?
Okay, well, just remember that your body wants to help you, and you have a responsibility to help it help you, whether it's for your mind, for your body, or for your spirit. And there are things, and most likely you already know some things that you could do as far as your body is concerned. There are some things you know you could do as far as your mind is concerned, and even as far as your spirit is concerned. Whatever it is you believe, do you believe what you believe you believe?
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's one of my favorite quotes from Apostle Bill Heyman. So, yeah, when you can find the balance, and you can find the balance, just begin to listen to your body, and it's always speaking. It's always speaking to us.
But are you listening?
Are you listening? And then are you doing? If you get that urge to drink some water, go get the water. You don't need a cup of Kool-Aid, a cup of juice. You know, you get
Right.
that unction to forgive somebody that hurt you, just because it's going to help you when you do it. Forgive them. Let it go. You get that urge that you need to spend a little time, just a few seconds, just yourself. Go to the bathroom if you have to. Lock the door. Just spend a few minutes alone, being quiet to boost your spirit, man. Do it.
I love
You
it.
got the power.
You got the
Help your body
power.
help you live a more vibrant life.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Hillary, thank you so much, guys. Make sure you check out Hillary Gooden. We'll make sure that all of the information's in the show notes. And as we like to close our shows with, remember, you are never stuck, you are never lost, and you are never alone. At any given moment, you have the power to use your power to pivot, which is to make a new choice, like jumping on a trampoline or drinking that water and putting yourself on an entirely new path. Thanks, Hillary. And thanks, guys,
You're
for
welcome.
listening.
Thank you.